All right, all right. Here we go. Episode 22 of Hitting the Road. I'm pretty excited today because I feel like I've got it's when you feel like you've kind of found plutonium or you found kind of the answer to life in a lot of ways. You find something before everybody else gets to it. This is kind of what this band reminds me of, or this duo, I should say. MacKenzie Porter, Jake Eldridge, the duo Thelma and James. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. It's actually Jake Etheridge. Sorry.
Jake Eldridge. What did I say? See, I knew it.
Uh,
I knew. I told you, didn't I
Eldridge.
tell
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah. All good. All good. We're doing
Um,
good this morning though. Yeah, doing good this morning.
Or yeah, really good. We got coffee. Our daughter slept in. We're
yeah.
like, it's a great morning.
Kicking all cylinders.
Jake, I was just now telling Mackenzie, I was like, I'm gonna bop it. I'm gonna get it. Like there's so many names flying around in my head. I knew it was coming. I even told her 2 seconds ago. Jake Eldridge, how you doing, man?
Yeah, 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 yeah. So we gave you a couple extra names with Thelma and James in there too. So yeah,
Yeah, man, alive. Listen, we're off to. You can't see it, but my skin is very red. We're off to a great start. But listen,
Yeah.
y'all, we talked beforehand. We jumped on I was kind of saying like, obviously you guys have had, the solo stuff before you kind of came together. But I want to kind of get into that. I want to get into your origins a little bit before we kind of, really just dive into where you are now. But it's like you were both doing very different, stylistically. I mean, like almost even genre wise, y'all were doing different styles of music, right? And how long ago, I mean, like what's y'all's story as far as when you met, how long you've known each other, all that kind of good stuff.
we met songwriting actually. That was oh,
2012, I think we met songwriting.
Okay.
We just got, paired up together to, like everybody does in Nashville, you get, put in a room with somebody, and we got put into a room with another girl, and we wrote a song, and kind of like became friends at that point. I think this one was instantly in
I
love with
was
me.
I was smitten. I was
Yeah.
smitten from the start.
Yeah, but I was in a different relationship, and so we just remained friends for probably 2 years, and we wrote a few songs and just would like hang. I wasn't living in Nashville at the time, and so we'd hang when I came to town, in like a group setting, and yeah, just like wrote songs. And then, when my relationship like died out naturally, him
Mm.
and I started hanging out more and started dating, and that was in 2014, and we've been together ever since, doing our own things musically, but obviously, got married and had a child and all that kind of stuff.
Totally. Totally. So okay, so you guys and so Jake, there was a flicker. I mean, before she kind of broke
Oh,
up and
100%. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Right from the start. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I mean,
I
did you
told my
see like
mom
did
the
you
day after I met.
go
I
ahead? I'm
told my
sorry.
mom literally the day after I met her that I was gonna marry her,
Oh
and
wow.
so worked out. Worked out.
Well, I mean, so like did you I mean, so how do you like kind of enter into that? Because it's like, I mean, creatively, did you guys just kind of vibe. And then like there was like for you, it was like, man, like there was something for you that just kind of, I don't know, just connected with her beyond the writing, like it. And like I know you said you told your mom and all that kind of stuff, but like at what point, like were you in a session together? Like how did that happen?
Yeah, yeah. No, we were just writing, and she walked in the room, and I was like, "Bam!"
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think it was like that was really it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Love at first sight.
yeah, love at first sight more than anything. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Gotcha. And so Mackenzie, so I mean, you're not native to Nashville. I mean, very few people are these days, but you're from Canada, is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I'd be curious to know kind of that story because I mean you were kind of doing the pop thing, right? But I am noticing here lately, like especially like on the country side of things, like there's so much good music now coming out of Canada, which is crazy. But
Hmm.
I've been noticing that. But like I guess like how did you start to kind of make that transition down to where you were eventually like kind of in the Nashville scene? And like did you consider yourself a songwriter? Did you consider yourself at that point like I'm gonna have to kind of yield to the country artist thing? Like how did that kind of go?
Well, I was doing country music when, I mean, it was definitely had like pop elements to it,
Sure.
but living in Canada, and I ended up signing a publishing deal with Sony, just like internationally. So they started sending me here to make trips. I knew because like I loved country music and was releasing country music. I grew up on a farm, that
Nice.
country was kind of like the genre. So I knew Nashville was a place I always wanted to eventually move. I just had it in my head, like I'm gonna live in Nashville. Um, so I started making trips just to write, and was getting like set up with different writers. And at that time, like I didn't have paperwork to like stay longer, so I could
Mm.
just come in for a little bit and write, and then I had to go back to Canada. And that's when I met Jake, and eventually, yeah, just started. I got my visa, so I was able to come and like officially move here and
Okay.
started just writing songs. And I was like, I love the city. I mean, yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna just live here forever.
Yeah. And when did you both like respectively sign your own deals? I mean, like, because I know you both had record deals and like when did you both sign that, individually?
Yeah, I signed, so I started making trips to Nashville, like I said, 2012, and then I signed officially my record deal with Big Loud that I still have today at the top of 2016. But I was filming a TV show on Netflix, so I didn't really get to like start making music till like the back of 2018.
Okay.
So I was signed for 2 years, but not super, super active. So yeah, and still have that record deal. That's where Jake and I signed together.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then
Yeah, I guess I mean I've worked with this band in Europe. I was in a band out of Holland, and so we were with Universal. But that was around the time we met. That was a long time
mhm.
ago. Yeah, I worked with yeah, I've worked in and out of a label. I worked with Ben Harper for a second.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I've just done a couple things, and now
No, that's
Yeah.
fun.
yeah.
So you got this collaboration, and let me kind of tell you what was interesting to me about just kind of even sitting with you. So it's like, and I know you guys have probably heard this too, but it's like, certain people they always remind you of somebody else, right? I mean, you see an artist and you want to compare it to whatever. So let me take you back. So like 2012, I was at a little like small venue in Dallas, Texas, about 40 people maybe. A lot of people eating like meatloaf. It was kind of a diner kind of vibe, you know. So there's
That's
a lot of meat.
awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of meatloaf. But the band that night was this band called the Civil Wars, right? And just kind of crazy because like you're sitting there and like you're literally now, I mean, you're 3 feet from them because they're right in the middle of the room. And so like Joy Williams was like, I mean, like her, I mean, just lovely. I mean, like, and like, I mean, and their harmonies were so tight and everything. And for the first time, I'm just kind of hearing this, and I'm just like, what world is this, right? Like, what, like, this is like, and then I'm like, I'm listening and I'm caught up in it, and I'm just kind of like, I think they're gonna kiss. Are they gonna kiss? Oh, they didn't kiss. There was this crazy dynamic between
Mhm.
them where there was this tension where they were just always like right there, you know? And
Mhm.
the crazy thing is like when I was watching y'all stuff, listening to y'all stuff, and like watching y'all's videos or whatever, it's like it's even though y'all are together, there's still a tension and a push and pull like in your in your music and like even in your performance. I mean, is that accurate to say? It almost feels like in the way that y'all are performing. I mean, like you're close to each other, but not like not too close. And it's like this really weird. Like, do they like each other? I think they do. I think they love like do
Depends on
you?
the day.
I
Well,
think too the songs like I mean we both like are artists and writers, and the songs I think too maybe reflect that. Like you're not going to sing a song that's talking about a gnarly breakup or the chain smoking memories and like those
yeah,
sort of like maybe angry emotions or maybe bitter is it within the song, and then I guess we embody that maybe
Hmm.
for the moment.
Yeah.
Like when we sing First Love.
We might kiss.
Yeah, we
yeah,
sing First
yeah,
Love. It's not really intentional, but it's like when I'm singing First Love and I look at Mac, I definitely feel something different than if I'm singing Chain Smoking Memories and looking at Mac, or if I'm
Yeah.
singing Loser,
yeah.
and looking at Mac, so
Yeah. I mean, I do feel like, a lot of people say that like you guys have great chemistry. I'm like, well, dang, I hope so. We're
Yeah,
married and,
exactly.
but the musical chemistry, yeah, I think that we honestly probably didn't realize that we had that until people started like telling us. We were just writing songs and singing
Yeah.
together, and then everybody was kind of saying like, "Oh, you guys have this um connection and musically," and that's been kind of cool for us to discover. And even like people saying like, our voices sound really good together. Like we
Mhm.
always sang together at
Yeah.
home or like, at family weddings or whatever, but kept it so separate for so long. So yeah, I think it's nice. I think our voices do really mix tonally, and that is just the luck of the draw. I mean, we
Yeah,
just,
man.
are lucky that way.
Yeah, it's so good. And I was gonna ask too, because like even like, from because I know you mentioned, you had the country pop, background, MacKenzie. So it's like, but I did notice that like I mean you're playing a lot of times, I mean the instrumentation, I mean it almost leans a little bit into the bluegrass space. Do you have like a bluegrass background or a country, like is it just like just from playing country, or like what is that
I think, yeah, like I grew up playing the fiddle, so like that obviously is an instrument that leans more country bluegrass. So that's my main instrument. So anytime I pick that up, it probably just like naturally goes a little bit more that way. And then
Yeah.
in the last few years, I've learned the, you know, banjo, I guess.
Okay.
And yeah, so we just love that sound. And you know, every time like we're like, we shouldn't put the banjo in this song because it's on all the
Hmm.
songs. And I'm like, we gotta put the banjo on because
Yeah,
just
it's
like
so good.
that's the sound,
And
you
that's
know.
really honestly how it started because we had banjo on Happy Ever After You, and then we had a discussion of like, okay, well, every song can't have banjo, and then it just became a thing where
We're
now
like,
every song
like
has to has ban, like
yeah.
we
But
want every song to have.
banjo is like my favorite sounding instrument. Like I love just that like twangy, like a little pitchy,
Yeah.
like it
Yeah,
feels
ours is definitely a little pitchy.
yeah, it feels like a little like maybe too pitchy. It feels a little raw and real and like, you know, I think what we're trying to do is like tell stories and the banjo,
Yeah.
I don't know, like it makes it more storytelling kind of
Right.
just that sound.
Well, and I felt like there was there's something in it, and I'd love for you guys to speak to this if you can, but like there's a very tangible, like very tactile kind of way that you guys go about writing the songs, and and because we're kind of in a time in certainly in the country music, but there's like these huge anthems, you want these stadium anthems that people can, whatever. And for you guys, it's like you can tell that the lines are so well done. Like the lines in your songs are so well done. And then you get to the hook and you're just like, oh crap, and it's just, but they're so tangible. And I guess my question is like, how do y'all play off each other, in the songwriting process? And then sub question, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but like you guys have got some heavy hitters on this album as far as songwriters go. Like, how has that process been?
It's really different. It's really song by song. Like a song like Loser, Mac came up with that hook of Loser, how did you lose her? And then
Yeah.
I had written the first couple lines of the verse, like we separated one night to kind of work separately and came together, and those ideas worked. And then, of course, we got to write that song with Natalie Hemby. So it's
Yeah.
like that kind of, I felt like we created, and then we took it to Natalie, and then we all created with Natalie. And then a song like Chain Smoking Memories, I almost feel like was way just kind of like a soup being stirred in the room. We didn't really know.
We didn't have that title, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have
Yeah.
that title. I think Jordan maybe said it when we were writing a different. Anyway, it was weird. Like Chainsmoking Memories kind of came alive in the room. Like we didn't
Yeah.
know where it came from, and we all kind of worked, and all the writers kind of.
I would say like normally like I feel like my strong suit is like coming up with like hooks or titles or like a concept and then Jake and this isn't every time but and then Jake is like he will come up with just like super detailed creative lines and that's not my strong suit. So we kind of like luckily for the most part are like your weaknesses are my strengths and vice versa when it comes to like writing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, and for those that maybe don't know, and maybe they don't know, but some of the writers like we mentioned that are on that record with you, and it's one of these things where I'm sure the iron sharpens iron kind of thing. When you're going to elevate your game. I mean, when you're in a writing room with somebody like Josh Osborne or whatever it is, like it's like, man, I got to kind of step it up a little bit today and really bring it. But like, I mean, you guys have obviously you've been in town for a little while, all that kind of stuff, but and again, you've got seemingly all the right people, like you said, with Big Loud and all this kind of stuff. But like, how do you over the years, I mean, get into those rooms? Did you know a lot of those, like the Lories and the Natalies? Did you know all that, before you kind of sat in the room with them, or is it something that was, just over time? Like, I mean, maybe Big Loud put you in the room. I'm just kind of curious how those
Mhm.
relationships kind of got going.
I mean, I would say I had written with all of them before, just when I was doing my solo project. Um,
I hadn't written with any of them.
yeah,
Okay.
so he was just in a different genre. Like I was so in the country Nashville scene, and Jake was more like yeah, indie singer-songwriter like
Yeah.
world, and worked with those type of people like the Maddie Diaz's and the
Mm.
Joe
Yeah, I mean,
Woods.
yeah. I would have loved to have written with these people, but it was almost just like different circles, like Mac's saying.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
but yeah, it was really like. We put out that song Happy Ever After You,
Yeah.
and then everybody was like reaching out to write with us. So it was
Yeah.
pretty cool, like just the shift in, because we had been in town for a while. It was like the perspective of like who we were and what kind of music we were making like
Yeah.
changed. And like I could have never been as cool just like myself. Like
Sure.
Jake was like the cool factor.
Sure.
Um,
I don't know about that.
well, you were, and I think like I had the connections a little bit. So it was just like, I don't know, it was like the perfect storm. Like it really was just so meant to be. And that sounds cheesy, but like, you know, we, I don't know, like it all just fell into place like
Yeah.
without trying at the beginning. Now we're trying.
Yeah, we're trying now.
Yeah.
But at the
No.
beginning, it just happened.
No, I love that. And so I guess my curiosity too, because and I want to kind of pivot back a little bit to like just y'all's dynamic as a husband and wife team because I'm always curious about this. So like a lot of people, as you know, I mean they, the world kind of changed and people kind of work from home now. It
Mhm.
just almost, people don't drive to the office anymore. My wife, she's right downstairs.
Yeah.
And so, she'll come in, she'll peek in and she'll say, "Hey, man, I just heated up this lasagna. Did you want some of it?" I'm like, "Yeah, awesome." And you guys are literally around each other probably, if I had to guess, all the time,
Awesome. Oh,
you
it's good.
know?
Yeah.
And so I guess my curiosity is like, how does that line kind of like, does it ever get blurred between like the working relationship you have and then, or is it actually just something that's a benefit, or is it kind of a little bit difficult going from one kind of compartment of your relationship to another where it's like more personal than it is kind of songwriting and
Hmm. Hmm.
music and all that kind of stuff?
I think regardless, before we were working together, like being an artist and writing is like 100, like you're just thinking about it all the time. Not to say you're always working, but you're just kind of always thinking about it. It's art, and so even when we were working separately, if we were working on a song, I might ask Mac's opinion, be like, "Hey, will you listen to my song?" And she'd be like, "Hey, will you listen to my song?" I almost feel like us working together kind of cuts back on that because we're both thinking about the same thing.
Hmm.
Like I don't have to work on my songs, try to get her opinion on mine and listen to hers. It's like we're both listening to the same thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's at the
Yeah.
end of the day, we're not filling each other in
Yeah.
on the art. So I think in that way, it's kind of streamlined
Yeah.
because we were already thinking about it 100% of the time before. Now
Yeah.
we're just thinking about the same thing
Yeah.
100% of the
We
time.
work really good together. I mean, of course, like, like being married and like we're best friends,
Yeah.
like you are a lot more honest with that person
Sure.
than like, and like there's sometimes like I'll say to Jake, I'm like, you would never say that to like another songwriter. Like that line sucks.
Yeah.
You'd like
Yeah.
sugarcoat it a bit more, but like to me, he'll say
Or
that.
like we'll be in a right and like if I'll say something or Mac will say something and we'll just make a face like, "Ugh." Like, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
no, that's a bad idea. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, you would never do that to another co-writer. But at the same time, I don't think we hurt each other's feelings with that.
No, no, like we're pretty like we work very well. I mean, of course, there's
Sure.
the odd time that like you piss
We
me
we
off.
don't we don't ever call each other out. Like with the
Yeah.
writing, it's not like we're like that's a bad idea, but maybe we'll make like a quiet face to each other, be like, "Man, I don't like that line," so the
Yeah.
other writer doesn't know that we did that to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, like Max said, I mean, it kind of helps. It helps the process.
Yeah, and we like, like you said, like you and your wife, like we do the same thing. We have a studio in our house. Like we
Mhm.
go out to other people's studios too, but like we have a kid now, and so like we do the
Yeah.
same thing. We go down and have lunch with her, and like we can work after she goes to bed, and it's just like it's made it a lot easier, I think, to like get things done
Yeah.
because you're always with your business partner. You know what I mean? Like we
Right.
can
Right.
have an idea at midnight and create it if we want to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Does that happen for you guys where it's just like, it's 11, 12 o'clock and you're just like, "Hey, I got this thing. I can't get it out of my head. We should go downstairs and just hammer it out." And the other one's like, "Maybe I just want to sleep." I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
I'm the one that's like, I want to
Well,
sleep.
I mean, I really when we were writing, I feel like we go in the seasons of writing hardcore, like especially when we were tracking the EP and finishing some songs at the same time. We were doing it simultaneously, recording and writing the songs that would be on the record.
okay.
And yeah, I mean, we had lots of late nights, and yeah, the song "Starting Over" that we wrote with Laurie McKenna, we wrote it
Hmm.
here in this room. We actually had an evening write because that's just what it worked out for the schedule. Laurie left at like 9 or 10, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, at that point, as far as just like working into the late hours, we just recorded the guitars that are actually on the record here in this room right after the write. And it's almost like we didn't plan to do that, but we stayed up late. We were probably up till midnight working on guitar tracks and didn't know they'd be on the record.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess yeah, if that
Yeah.
answers the question or not.
I mean, yeah, and it feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong here. So like the other day, so my wife and I, we've been married now. This will be our 11th year. Actually in a couple days, which is
Oh,
crazy. So,
Hey,
eh, guys,
congrats.
I've got to go get her gift. I've kind of been putting
Okay.
it off, but I need to go. I'm not kidding. She has kind of hinted towards gold, so I've got to figure it out. But all that to say, the other day, it was just kind of a weird thing, but it's just like, there was a situation where there was like this real I guess vulnerability. And don't get me wrong, we're like you guys. I mean, we're best friends. But there was this kind of moment that was really new. It was like this real kind of new thing that we'd never really just kind of, again, we talk about the push and pull in marriage sometimes, and it's just like, man, it was so amazing because I was like, we're sitting there and we're just talking, and I'm like, man, like this is the safest place on the planet for me right now. I mean, this big thing that's like on my chest, like this is the safest place like in my world. And like if I was going to tell anybody, it's her. And so all that to say, like, um, I would imagine you guys have a similar dynamic where it's just like, man, safe place, and like, hey, I can, if I'm going to be vulnerable with anybody on the planet, it's going to be, Mac, it's going to be whatever, but does that give you an advantage and almost a leg up sometimes in your art to be able to say, man, like there is a vulnerability that comes out in our art that maybe wouldn't have come out individually. But because we share the milk, and we share
Mhm.
that, we share a child. Like, I mean, there's this intense vulnerability that's almost your superpower. Is it safe to say that maybe that's a big help to you?
I,
I think so.
yeah, 100%. I would say like maybe the dynamic of like what we're doing is way different just because I mean, it can only feel like this. Like I'm not gonna have a duo with somebody else and it would feel like this,
Sure.
obviously.
Mhm.
Sure.
So I think for sure when we like write or play shows, it just feels different. I'd say it feels less like maybe a job. Oh, I mean, it
Yeah.
feels like we're doing work, but it feels less like we just went and played a show in Maryland and we had Bowen with us. And when we're like sound checking,
Mm.
it felt like a family, like a hang. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does, like, just as far as like, I've over the years, like, you threw out so many different ideas, like in my solo career, like to songwriters, and maybe somebody's like, I don't like that, I don't like that, that it definitely like can put your guard up a little bit. And with Jake, it's like, well, I don't care if he doesn't like an idea, which they're like, because I know it's not going to affect what he thinks of me as an artist.
Yeah.
So therefore, I will throw out all my ideas,
Yeah.
and therefore we're being more creative
Yeah.
and coming up with something better. Whereas like I might like modify, like, oh, I don't think I'm going to say that to this person because
Sure.
I don't know if they'll think it's stupid or whatever. Whereas you, it's like, I don't care if he thinks it's stupid because he loves me, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
That
Totally.
definitely like that is the biggest thing to try to be creative is that feeling
yeah.
of like being in a room and not saying anything because you're afraid maybe it's not cool enough is
Yeah.
definitely like the most stifling thing. So the
Yeah.
fact that we come into any room where we're gonna be like at least half of the writers and like, we're making up at least 50% of the team.
Hmm.
If we're writing in a big room or whatever,
Yeah.
it's like, well, we're the we can say the stupid things because we're married to the writer
Sure.
and the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think
Sure.
it just like allows for more creativity. Like when you feel comfortable being creative, you're gonna create better. And like, he makes me feel more
Like
comfortable.
the dare to fail thing kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Well, because it's like when you guys are obviously kicking out, it's not it for me it's just this really I mean, music, it makes you feel something always one way or the other. I definitely got into my feelings a little bit this week just listening to you guys. And so it feels like so we talked about it a little bit before we jumped on, but it's like, you've got like I said, you got kind of the right people just on your team, which is such a big help. But it seems like you guys have got a big 2026. I mean, it's 2025 kind of comes to a close, or we're getting there, it seems like quickly, but as 2026 kind of turns up a little bit, y'all are gonna be doing some pretty crazy things this spring, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we just announced the Luke Combs tour, so
Let's
that'll
go.
be stadiums, like our first, I
Yeah.
mean, it's really our first tour ever
Yeah.
together. and it's stadium, so it's kind of as big as you can get. He like that all came to be. He was like the first celebrity artist to like comment on our first video, and then he just kept commenting like, I love the music, I love the music. And he asked us to be on the tour. Like we didn't pitch for it, we didn't
Wow.
even know it was happening. We talked to his manager like a couple weeks ago, and his manager was like, who do you want to open? And Luke's like, I want Thelma and James. And so
Wow.
like that was just very cool to hear.
Yeah, so that's gonna be, we're very excited.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, we're very excited about that.
yeah, that'll be
Well,
cool, and it will have a full record and a couple TV shows. It's been very busy in
wow.
this house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. What TV shows can we be looking out for?
I'm on a show right now called 911 Nashville.
Got it.
So that airs, second episode starts tonight.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it starts. I'm not sure when this video will be, but it comes out tonight, Thursday, October 16th is
Perfect.
tonight.
That's
Yeah, so
awesome.
it'll be on ABC on Thursdays.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
look
awesome.
out for
Yeah.
the number one doctor in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's amazing. No,
Yeah.
we're definitely going to root for you for sure. Well, so yeah, so like let me ask you this too. So like when you find out that you're going to be, well, man, now I've got so many questions, but when you find out you're going to be on the Luke Combs tour this spring, like respect, or collectively, like respectfully, either way, like I mean, who's your first phone call? I mean, outside of talking to each other about it, like who are you calling and saying, oh my gosh, like this is
It was
something.
probably our parents,
Oh
right?
yeah, I think our parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're pretty tight with both of our parents.
Yeah.
Like, we have ongoing group chats, like too many, like our phone's just blowing up with group chats all day.
Yeah.
So our families.
Mm-hmm. For
That's
sure.
amazing. Yeah, I mean what a big opportunity for you guys. And so are you going to be, I know you mentioned like you've got, the full length, all this kind of stuff, but like when can we expect to hear more new music? Because I know obviously people can find you on Spotify and there's so much, good stuff from your EP, but like when can we expect the new stuff to come out, 2026, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
I think, I mean, there's a plan, but I'm not sure if it's 100%.
Yeah. I mean, the plan right now is we're writing it. We got a song coming out tomorrow, but
Yeah, we got a Christmas song. Oh, actually, it's a Christmas
Okay.
song coming out early tomorrow.
yeah.
Okay.
Today.
But the full record, like our plan, if we can get our shit together before that and like finish it, would be before the Luke tour to drop a full length record.
That would be
We
amazing.
have some more songs to write though, so of course we're not
We're
gonna rush
really,
it.
there's a lot of songs we are excited about
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah. But we just
Yeah.
need to keep writing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, guys, it sounds like you got a lot going on TV. I mean, you got a tour which is going to be insane in 2026.
Yeah.
New music. So, I mean, I wanted to thank you guys again for just kind of letting us in a little bit, just kind of letting us kind of understand who you are, your dynamic, how you work together, and where you come from. And so, MacKenzie, Jake, thank you so much. Thelma and James, man, we're excited to kind of follow you and just keep up with you. We're rooting for you, and let us know if you need anything from us.
Awesome. Thank you so
All right,
much.
guys.
Awesome.